I have scoured the web, and I have come up with the greatest brands that will become benchmarks for the year 2023. Get a snack if you're at the flat screen, and put out your weird pop socket kickstand if you're on your phone, because this is extremely serious business. Is that okay? These are the brands that will define our time. Hi, welcome. 2023 brands. The brands that I at least hope will blow up in 2023. Bianca Saunders. Bianca is not like a new designer, but she's working towards a goal that I see the zeitgeist shifting towards, and I think she's poised to be able to take full advantage of that cultural mood. Miss Saunders designs menswear, but there's this special kickflip with it, where she's able to bring in a hallmark of women's wear design, and that is draping, and incorporate it into men's clothing. Do you see these tiny little twists here? A lot of these designs just incorporate the most basic, minimal, just no-nonsense draping, and they're able to make it a really compelling option for just regular guys' wardrobes. Can anyone else think of someone who is doing draping in what is essentially the workwear category of menswear? Because I can't think of anybody. I was lucky enough to attend Miss Saunders' most recent show at Paris Fashion Week Men's, and I was just super impressed by what I saw, and I was even more impressed when I interviewed her later on. And I think this is what's coming culturally, is this idea of, in the same way that women's wear got kind of invaded by the sensibilities of menswear, you have, really basic things like pants. And then you had power shoulders. We went all through this in a recent episode. But the idea of incorporating menswear themes into women's wear, and then women finding their own grammar for that stuff, it's now the opposite. The opposite is starting to happen. Miss Saunders is incorporating draping, which is a less considered part of women's wear. It's definitely part of the tradition, but it's not something that a lot of people think first of mind when they think of women's wear. So she's taking this kind of older, almost something that gets used in haute couture more than ready to wear, this thing of draping, and then moving that into the menswear space. I think that is going to result in some really special stuff going forward, because it's already resulted in some incredible clothes thus far. Moving on! Ruohan. This is one brand where I am going to struggle to make it make sense to you, because unless you have been in the room with these clothes, it's really hard to fully understand the impact that they have. The best comparison I can think of for this brand is that it's kind of like the Row, where if you're just looking at pictures of the stuff, it's like, that's a sweater, who cares? But then when you're actually in the room with it, you feel the thing and you try it on, you realize that there is such an emphasis on textiles with the brand that you can't find it anywhere else. So of course, Ruohan has beautiful photography, beautiful videos and stuff, but I strongly encourage you, if you can figure out a way to get in the same room as these clothes, you will understand what the difference is. When I interviewed Ruohan recently, she was able to explain to me some of the processes that she puts these clothes through in order to achieve these effects. And I wish we could go into full detail about it now. You can go check out that interview if you'd like. But the amount of attention to detail and the amount of innovation that she's applying to these textiles is incredibly impressive to me. I am so stoked to see where this brand goes. There's some really exciting stuff brewing here. Ego. How do you pronounce Aziz's last name? I'm gonna call him real quick.
Hello?
Hey Aziz, what's up, man?
Hey Blitz, what's going on?
Not a lot. I'm filming a video. I need to know how to pronounce your last name, my man.
Owokoniran.
Owokoniran. Y'all go crush it today. Say hi to everybody for me.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Peace. Ego is one of the most high-octane small brands I've ever encountered, just ever. And for small brands, the real determinant of is this good or is this bad is you just look at the product. Because if they're putting on some incredible show, some incredible, beautiful, fantastic editorial, but then all they got for sale is t-shirts, then maybe things are not quite off the ground yet. The Ego guys have really gone out of their way to make unbelievable product. The original way that I actually found them was this video of Aziz where he's sitting with Michelle Lamy and explaining textiles that they use to her.
It's not even a neoprene, it's this material we call exomit. It's like a polyester nylon blend. But it mimics neoprene, but it has a lot more stretch.
I could tell just from this video that I was like, oh, this guy is like really in it. He's obsessed. By the way, all the brands for this you can find down in the description. You should follow them on Instagram because this grown-ass man's voice is still changing. Hey, if you don't subscribe, by the way, you should definitely subscribe. You should follow the channel. Please subscribe my channel. We're gonna do a fit check while I tell you about this thing I wanna tell you about. Okay, hey, what's up? I love you. You should join the Patreon. I am giving you this fit check to promote the Patreon. Please sign up. We have a really low price student tier for all of you who want to get on there but are short on cash. You get on the best Discord server on earth. And because there's a tiny little paywall with it, it is such an involved, intimate community. I love that place. All of the people inside are so wonderful. Also, you get exclusive episodes and everybody loves that. So go sign up right now. Pause the video and sign up. Okay, who's next? All Beneath Heaven. I am so excited to tell you about this again. Because yeah, like speaking of the Patreon, we have a very long interview with Jimmy Barker, who is the head of All Beneath Heaven, where he talks at length about the very intricate concept behind what he's doing. And it's crazy because concept clothes usually are very brooding and serious, lots of dark colors, but that is not the case here. All Beneath Heaven kind of revolves around this idea of like, sorry for paraphrasing Jimmy, happiness. All of the work that it takes to get yourself to a place where you can just be happy. And Jimmy has sort of expounded out all of the pieces of the puzzle that have kind of helped him move into a better place mentally, and those are expounded out in such beautiful ways in the clothes. The material and the make of this stuff is outstanding. He came out on the other side with some uniquely insane clothes. And I've gotten to even try them on. They're incredible. These are like some of the coolest clothes ever. Oh, Isaac! We're talking about Birdsuit Guy.
Birdsuit guy, you gotta buy the bird suit. It's so cool. It's got like a bird face on it. I don't know. It's something like.
It's a hand. It's like a hand. Shadow puppet
You're
bird.
right. It is the hand. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking. All right, get out of here. Go check them out. I like them a lot. Next up on the list, No Faith Studios. Among independent designers, this guy might be one of the most prolific. I feel like I am constantly seeing stuff coming out of this brand, and a lot of it is really good. The thing that is interesting to me about this in the storyline of contemporary fashion is that this is like the one-of-one Instagram account, like kind of the DIY, like pulling stuff from thrift stores apart and then sewing it back together in cool ways. This is like that if taken to a professional level. And that might even be how this dude started. I have no idea. But at this point, No Faith Studios produces some of the strongest editorial that I've maybe ever seen. The images that they produce are really, really striking. And maybe the other coolest thing about No Faith is that they seem to have achieved that grail status for a lot of young kids, which is really hard to do as an independent designer. Most people who are into fashion might be like, oh yeah, I really appreciate and admire what this independent brand is doing, but my grail is having an Hermes coat. Or for like high schoolers, it might be like, I really want these Gucci sneakers or something. It's always going to be the heritage, the old stuff, the things that are very, very well established. But it seems like No Faith is one of the few independent brands that has achieved that level of being able to get high schoolers to say like, no, if you gave me $5,000, it would all go to them. I'm really excited to see how this develops because it is developing so quickly that I'm curious to see what they can do with even more resources as we move into the future. So yeah. No Faith. Check them out if you don't already know them. Finally, I am very excited to talk about Harris Reed. The good Dr. Reed was recently appointed at Nina Ricci after the Botter couple recently exited the brand, but I am really, really excited about what Reed is doing at his own brand. Especially in the genre of camp in fashion, we talk a lot about imagination because that's kind of what campiness in fashion has to offer us, is this kind of impossible beauty that is so expansive and out there that it's just like, wow, I just wish my life could become that. And Harris Reed might have the most big brain, just exploding imagination of any other young designer working right now. All of the editorial and the runway and the lookbooks and stuff are really great. We're just meant to look at this and marvel at the sheer size of what's going on. The great thing about Reed getting put into Nina Ricci is that he'll have a much bigger budget to be able to experiment around and continue to find his voice. Nina Ricci is in my mind, a fairly malleable brand. There's certainly a lot of history there, but it seems like it's become a playground for a lot of designers to continue to develop their own techniques of cutting and how they want to do tailoring and sort of find their own voice. And the Nina Ricci brand kind of melds around that really well. So I'm really excited to see what Reed can come up with in the next couple of years. 100% a designer to watch. What designers did I miss? Tell me in the comments below. Join the Patreon. I love you. Goodbye. I'm not actually predicting who's going to blow. I mean, honestly, if I was trying to predict who's going to blow up in 2023, I would just be like, Shein. See ya. All right, turn them off.